Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just bad for everyone, I think, because having the ability to adapt with that Nemesis system, which is, like I said, a great system, it's a good thing, but to deprive other developers of using that and adapting it, making it better, I don't know, man. Like, it's the same thing with EA, like you were saying, that they've monopolized certain things so people can't grow and make it better and improvement in just the natural form of things. It just, I don't know why it got approved, I guess. If it was denied 4 times, who decided, whoa!
I don't know how many times it was denied. I just know multiple times, so I would say at least 3.
But why was it accepted the final? Like, I guess I'm confused what happened.
They kept changing the wording on it. And this is why, not to get into a, rabbit hole, but this is why I really dislike the justice system sometimes and like law, because it really favors these people who have so much money that they can keep reworking patents or taking something back to court or dragging something out. It's annoying.
It is annoying.
I mean, I don't know if there's even a better way to say it other than it's just annoying and unfair, and that's the opposite of what like the justice system and law and copyright and all those things are supposed to be. And I feel like the further we go, the more those things get manipulated in unfair ways, instead of being used to enforce fairness like they're supposed to be. Like, copyright is a good example. What we're doing here is generally considered transformative, right?
Yes.
Nobody would play this game the exact way you do other than you. So that's already transformative.
Because it's bad, for the most part.
Mainly, yes. Yeah. No one would have these exact same conversations with these exact same opinions. They wouldn't edit the videos the same. They wouldn't make the same thumbnails, descriptions, all this stuff, right? But there's still companies that abuse the copyright system with things like streams and stuff too, for example, and we see this also with music companies a lot abusing copyright to try and make more money off of other people. And it's interesting to me because it's like these systems were put in place to enforce fairness. That's what they were done to, made to do. And they're not even used that way. They're just like manipulated and twisted and ruined to ruin things for everybody.
Yes.
Because people, like companies, don't care about being fair. They care about money. And so if you give them the out to like, hey, you can F over everybody, but you'll make a bunch of money, almost all of them take it.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't give them that out. That's why you don't give that to them. But like the US system is no longer interested in policing corporations doing anything. Like antitrust laws are not enforced. People are allowed to monopolize entire industries almost with no problem. No one challenges things like mergers anymore at all on either side. It's just frustrating, man. That's the problem I have with this stuff is it seems like it's being twisted and it becomes anti-consumer and anti-competitive, which then becomes more anti-consumer because you get worse products. So I don't see who this benefits at all. I'm sure there will be some people who like shill hardcore for WB because they can't, think, oh, they could make a mistake, but it's a mistake.
It is. I 100% agree.
Where's Freeze?
You think I know?
You plan on celebrating the New Year in Traction?
Okay. He made a deal with Penguin. Weapons in exchange for some stiff. Ferris Boyle. He's in GothCorp last I saw.
You're lying. GothCorp doesn't make weapons.
What? No, GothCorp, I swear! Look, I've got the entry codes!
I'll take those.
Nice.
Cool. Entry codes?
We've got the codes.
They're all just
dude.
like 6969.
Involved in weapons tech. There's got to be more to this.
I won't play.
Of course.
I'm better than you.
Naturally, yeah.
Important.
Of course.
Oh, man.
Dude, I went and I watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy over the past couple of days. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, I made the mistake and didn't realize I was watching the theatrical editions and not the extended editions. So I really messed up, man, because there's some saucy scenes that you just don't see in the theatrical edition that I had to go and find on YouTube and watch some of the cool ones. But I
do want to stop this on the way. There's an anarchy riot.
Oh, of course. There is a legitimate argument to be made, and I guess I don't know how hotly
I'll make it
debated or not this is, but that it's one of, if not the greatest trilogy of all time. I think it's definitely in the conversation. It's phenomenal. all the way through. It's an unbelievably good trilogy. And I am obviously biased. The Dark Knight trilogy is probably still number one for me. But the Lord of the Rings...
That's definitely biased. You're like ignoring the problems with Rises there.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And Fellowship, like, the entire run of Lord of the Rings, I mean, objectively, is probably better than the Dark Knight trilogy, and that's totally fine. As far as just, like, my taste, I love the Dark Knight trilogy, but those three movies, all of them, are really solid from beginning to end. I wasn't bored. They're like 3 hours long each, and I've never really sat down and watched them to comprehensively understand everything that's going on. It's more so just been like hanging out with people, put on Lord of the Rings, watch some crazy battles. That's cool. But like sitting there watching and just thoroughly by myself watching every second of it, they're amazing films. Still to this day, they hold up very well, and they were made in 2000 or whatever. Right along with like the Raimi trilogies when they were coming out, and they're fantastic, man.
I have a hard time with Lord of the Rings because I know they're good, but I don't enjoy it.
Sure, yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. It's like I can watch the movie, especially Fellowship, and like I know it's a good movie, but I don't like it. And I don't really know why. It just feels really, really slow to me, and I'm someone who likes slow movies.
Yeah.
So I don't get why I don't like it, really.
Why doesn't it click? Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of bothers me. You know, it's one of those few things that it bothers me that I don't enjoy more. Because I don't hate it by any means, but it's like I watch it and I'm like, why do people love this so much? But I know it's good. And that kind of annoys me with myself.
Oh,
not even with the thing.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like, I want to like it more than I do. And the thing is, I love, like, the Middle-earth games. Like Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War and stuff. They're really good. Now, obviously, they're not as well written as the movies.
No.
But I enjoy them so much more, and I find the world more interesting in that area, I guess, than I do in Lord of the Rings. Okay. I guess that guy just wanted to dance and not hit me.
Cool.
Oh, this has been so bad.
Yeah, they're tough, man. And I get what you mean, too, because I tried reading the books, and I have a hard time. I think Tolkien is a awesome world builder, and I think he's an incredible storyteller, and obviously told one of the greatest stories of all time, really, with that Lord of the Rings trilogy. But, and I guess it's really meant to be just, like, one solid novel, too, like, all three of them. But the publisher broke them up into three different ones because of how long it was and everything, and for, you know, publication sakes and everything like that. But, his writing style, I didn't know this, but an old coworker of mine told me that he helped write Webster's dictionary. So it's a very, to give you some context, I guess, with that, it's a very overly descriptive at times, and like you'll have 10, 15 pages of him just describing where they're walking and what's going on and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so it can be very slow paced, and it can be
it's methodical,
dry sometimes and methodical. And yeah, and I think that's what I had a hard time. The books I think are they're good books, but I don't think that they're for me. The movies were, and I usually like the books more than the movies typically. It's the other way around with the Lord of the Rings for some reason. I don't know why that is, but
yeah. And you know, there's people that love all the movies. There's even people that love the Hobbit movies. It's hard for me, man. I'll probably watch it again, you know, near future.
Yeah.
But every time I try to watch Fellowship, I fall asleep.
Yeah, it's for me, it wasn't that slow of a build-up. I could see why people think it is, but
no people think it is except me.
No.
There's no, like, people think this. I just don't like it.
It's just you. Yeah.
They're heading to the propellant research wing. These guys have been raiding the whole facility.
Do you have the codes to this security door?
No, I don't have clearance. But my boss does. A bunch of them took him to the organics lab, through the lobby.
I'll make sure they don't hurt your boss. Get yourself to safety.
Okay. Through the lobby?
Gotta get out of here, dude.
So we actually have to go down, don't we?
I think so. Yes. Dude, I saw that the Pattinson Batman movie, I think it just wrapped. Or like it's going to wrap in March.
Nice.
For their, you know, like everything that's going on with the acting and stuff. So they're going into post-production, I think, within the next month.
Well, they're making headway. Did you see that they're going to connect like a Gotham TV show to it, basically?
What?
Yeah, there's going to be...
Wait, like a Commissioner Gordon vibe again?
Yeah.
Or like, interesting.
but they want to make it darker and better.
I actually really like the guy who's playing Commissioner Gordon in the Pattinson movie. He's a really, really good actor.
He seemed like he was. I was going to say to you, by the way, speaking of Lord of the Rings, actually, do you like how WB is kind of making their own universe for that? Like how they...
Is that on Amazon?
Yeah, well, there is that, but also just their movie universe. Like, they try and tie a lot of supplemental stuff into it, like, separate from the books, almost. Like, they're kind of running it almost like, hey, like, we're going to tie all these adaptations into our movies, and you can take them or leave them, but, you know, we don't own Tolkien's books. Like, for example, the Shadow of games. Like, Shadow of War directly ties into the first Lord of the Rings.
I was going to say, there's, at
like,
the end there...
Directly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so...
yeah, dude.
I mean, it seems like WB is doing that a lot with, like, hey, we own this stuff, these adaptations, we're going to reference, we're going to make this continuity matter to that, but, like, also not.
Yeah.
It's kind of odd.
Gollum's in there and all of them.
And nobody talks about it. Like, it seems like people try and ignore the games and stuff and just say, no, they're their own thing, but it's like, are they? If they directly say, by the way, then the movie happened. War says that.
Yeah.
It literally says, then the movie happened, and it references Frodo, like, directly.
Destroying the ring, yeah, at the end.
So, what are we doing here? Or can we really ignore that? You know, I get if you don't like it, but it really seems like WB's kind of saying, like, hey, look, our Hollywood version of this, we've got, like, our movies, our games, everything. Pick and choose what you want. We're not going to get in there and, like, explain to you the canon, but this is what we made.
Well, and I could be wrong here too, but wasn't it at the end that he was? I mean, he's one of the Nazgul, and
Are we spoiling it?
Well, yeah, it's at the end. I mean, it's an older game, and so I mean, I guess brief spoiler.
I mean, I don't care.
Okay, perfect. Well, that's perfect then. It was like he is murdered, or like what's the name of the guy? It's Celebrimbor, and who's the guy that you play as?
Talion.
Talion, yes. He dies after turning into a Nazgul. Because the Mount Doom explodes after Frodo, in the events of what happened at the end of Return of the King.
Right, which frees him.
And then, yeah, exactly. Like a rock lands on him, he dies, that's it. Because he was going back to try to get Frodo before he did that. So that's
Oh, jeez, I thought I could double take him down.
I think that's cool. And I don't know, I guess I don't hear a lot of people complaining about it or saying like it's bad or like we don't acknowledge this at all. It's not
I hear people try and say it's not canon. Like, it's not canon to the movies even. And it's like, I don't really know, because they designed it basically purposely to be. So it's kind of hard to say that. I mean, it's not to the books. Like, the books are just Tolkien's estate.
Yes.
You know? Oh, okay. I didn't know you couldn't do that. Like,
No,
I get the book thing, but this is one of those things where it seems like Harry Potter, which, like, no offense, I'm not saying I know more than you, I don't, but where it's like fans like to be like, no, I'm not going to acknowledge this. Like, oh, I don't care about the cursed child. Don't acknowledge that.
That is,
that
I was just going to compare it to that too, where it's like
you
it
can
wasn't
do that, but they still made it. You know, it's kind of hard to argue. You can argue you hate it. I get that, but it reminds me of the people who are like, the sequel trilogy isn't canon. Well, okay, maybe you don't care about it.
Yeah.
You can say that, but like I'm sorry, you don't really determine what's canon, do you? Like, do I determine the canon of this franchise, or do the people who made it?
Right.
That's kind of I can determine what I don't like and what I think is trash.
And that's what I think most people think about. And that's what, I guess, with Lord of the Rings is different, because people argue, like, the sequel trilogy, trash. Cursed Child, trash. That's kind of the big arguments with those two. I would argue the Shadow games, the Middle-earth games, they're good games, and they're quality content, and the stories that they tell leading into that aren't bad. Like, I think they work well with everything that's going on. So, if they're like, well, it's fine, but it's just not really canon, Tolkien didn't write it, it's just not... It just doesn't go really along with
So
anything.
then what are we talking about with canon? If we're talking about books, I think anyone can agree. Tolkien didn't write it, his estate didn't write it.
Yes.
Sure, but the books are separate. Like, no one goes into, for example, like Tom Bombadil or whatever, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That's not in the movies, really.
No, I read something where people said that 80% of the movies are accurate. Or 80% of the books are in the movies. Like, there's a good 20% of the books that didn't make it in.
Right.
Big chunks. Like, especially the ending. There's a completely different ending in the books than there is in the movies.
So it's like, it's obviously not the same continuity.
Right.
It's its own thing.
It's an adaptation.
You can at least argue with Harry Potter it's the same continuity and they just show some things differently, right? for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
like, would you say that the movies are a different continuity completely? The only stuff I know about is Dumbledore asked calmly versus screaming.
Yeah, dude.
And
the great meme, yeah.
And I know about there's one other thing.
Oh, his interview, Voldemort's interview with Dumbledore.
Yeah, well, you talked to me about that.
Yeah.
But there was one other thing that I know of from that change. Oh yeah, the fight at the end in is it in Hogwarts against Voldemort or like on
the
Hogwarts
Deathly
Ground?
Hallows?
Like basically that the fight is done differently. Like it's described much differently in the book, and
Much
in the
differently.
movie it's like just flashing lights like oh, I'm gonna try and kill you. No, I cast this thing back and it hits your thing in the air.
Yes.
Like it's done differently in the movie than it is in the books.
Quite a bit
Other than those things, I don't know of anything that would separate the continuities into like this is its own universe. This is its own universe. They have different timelines. Unless J.K. Rowling's doing that now, but I thought she's also writing out books to accompany these new Fantastic Beasts movies eventually. I thought she was trying to expand that too, but I don't know. I have no idea what the hell she's doing, to be honest.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. I've just heard that she's working on the next one, and that I think Fantastic Beasts 3 just got delayed. Actually, now that I am thinking
Oh no!
about it. I know, dude.
I saw you on GNN. You just saved my life.
You have codes I need to access the propellant research wing.
I do. Here. Take them. You're going to save Mr. Boyle, right?
It's not safe inside GothCorp. You need to get out of here.
Why does it look like he's
I
crying?
won't be hanging around.
He's very emotional.
Shape and said God. Earlier, Mr. Freeze called me a butthead.
It's hard being Batman, man. You wouldn't understand.
But does the cursed child happen in the movies? You know what I mean?
No.
No, and so right, exactly. So would
No.
you say then that that's a different timeline, or what?
well,
Because
no,
didn't the cursed child get J.K. Rowling's blessing?
She was involved in it. Yeah, she wasn't the main writer, but I think she was. She helped up and she like approved of stuff, and so that's what's kind of tricky. Is like she was involved. She saw her name's on the book, and it's just not good.
Does
Like,
anyone like it? Are there
I
people
think
who like it?
there are people who like it, and I've heard
Okay.
the play is awesome. But for me, the story and like what they did and the characters and how they changed some things, I didn't like it. at
Doesn't
all.
like Hermione cheat on Ron with Harry? Harry shoves his wand up there, and it's like
up him or like
Ron. Like
right, yeah.
he agrees to meet up with Hermione. Like Hermione, you blimey bloke, why don't you meet up with me over there under the chandelier and we'll
Yeah.
get shagging.
That's what they did.
In
Yeah.
my shag van. But then
He has a van.
yeah, shag van.
No, yeah,
But then
for
what
sure.
happens is when she goes to meet him, he's not there and he's at home screwing Ron.
Harry is.
Yes.
Him and Ron are okay. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think I forgot about that part. It's a really tough part to read. She gets very graphic with it, and
Well, hey man, did you know that Hermione was always black and Dumbledore was always LGBTQ?
that's true, dude. What am I thinking?
And if you question that, dude, like we might as well not even try here. I suck so bad. I'm literally gonna do this.
Restart.
Yes, I'm getting so tired of sucking every encounter.
It's all right, man.
No, it's not.
I don't think you're sucky.
No, I suck, man. I suck. I give it the old
Oh, the old suck attack. The old sucky boy.
The old suckaroo. They call me Mark Zuckerberg, dude.
Mark's.
No, but seriously, like, what were we talking about?
About Hermione being black and.
Oh yeah, yeah. Didn't you find it so funny? Little aside here, little like, oh, I was right all along. That people were praising J.K. Rowling so much when she did that. Do you remember this?
Yes. Oh yeah.
And they were like, oh, that is so forward thinking and all this stuff. And look, here's the thing: if Hermione was described that way in the books,
Fine.
cool.
Yeah. Don't care at all. Totally
no,
cool.
No, legitimately don't care at all. Couldn't care less, actually.
Yeah. That's
But-
totally fine. Doesn't matter.
When you're changing it after for brownie points,
That's different.
that's where I'm mad about it. And also, it seems offensive to me.
Yep.
That to me is actually offensive because you're tokenizing people. Mm-hmm. Like, seriously, you are saying, like, oh, you know what black people are good for? Points. For me to look good on social media. I'm serious. That's the message I get out of that. I don't really care. I'm not going to write any characters like that. But they're good for, good for a little chuckle and to get some
Right.
points on social media, and that's about it.
And like patronizing your followers a little bit too.
And black people.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Especially
telling
yeah.
them like they're not worth showing, but they are worth talking about.
Correct.
Okay, come on, man. Just like get out of here.
Come on, man.
That stuff pisses me off, I guess, because like to me, it's like, so really, you're gonna call me racist for calling that behavior out, for saying like, hey, you're using people to further your own looks. That's racist to call that out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, my favorite Green Lantern, Jon Stewart, one of my favorite superheroes in television history, Static Shock.
Yeah.
Must really hate that. Must really hate anyone who
No,
looks
you're the
different than
problem,
me.
man. Yeah.
But you know what the difference is? They didn't write Static as a white guy, and then after the fact, they were like,
Let's
but
change
he's
that
not
quick.
white.
Yeah,
He's not
yeah.
white, though. They wrote him the way he is, and he's freaking awesome. He's a great character.
Yeah.
And I'm so tired of the patronizing attitude and the, you're the problem if you don't like it. Mm-hmm. It's so frustrating. I hate that about her.
Boss has the code. Those
And,
goons have
and
the
they were
organics.
just, dude, they were going down on her, like, on social media, like, oh, she's so great. Like, J.K. Rowling's like,
Oh yeah.
the
dude.
darling. And then as soon as she changed her, like when her real beliefs came out about some stuff about feminism and saying if you're basically, I'm abridging this, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of the implication from what she said, in my opinion, was like, hey, if you're going to be a feminist, feminism needs to protect biological women, not trans women. Mm-hmm. And people were saying, oh, so you don't like trans women,
Right.
which is kind of what people got out of that. And on its own, the statement, I would think, well, that's kind of weird for someone who claims to be like, forward thinking. But okay, I guess you have a backwards opinion on this one thing, you know?
Yeah.
But when you're preaching about all this stuff and then it comes out that you believe this thing that's very opposite of that, and now everyone hates you, look, I'm sorry, but it was a little bit of like a I told you so moment for me.
Yes.
The whole time I was always like, dude, she's pandering. Like, she doesn't really think this.
The whole time.
And then
yeah.
as soon as it came out, everyone's like, what? It's unbelievable. She doesn't think it. It's like, you're all morons.
Well,
all of you are idiots.
I think a lot of people thought that she was pandering too.
I know, but anybody who didn't think that was a moron.
Sure,
I'm
yeah,
sorry. I
yeah.
truly believe that you're dumb.
Is that Ratcatcher? That's Ratcatcher stuff, isn't it?
Rye Catcher?
Rye
That's the
Catcher, yeah.
Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah, dude, it's a great book. Remember
At
that?
first I thought he says that Rice Catcher.
Rice. Yeah,
I was like,
dude.
geez, that sounds like a bad character from the 60s, like the Eggman.
Rice Catcher.
Eggman and King Tut. Oh, it's the Rice Catcher.
Got it, dude.
Yeah, dude, what did he say?
Those are timestamps.
If you can read this, you're a virgin. Cool.
Shoot, dude.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. WB Montreal got you.
Total
good,
revenue
man.
this year, millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars.
Oh, dude, Queen Industries. Have
Queen.
you ever seen that?
No.
Yeah, Queen Industries,
LexCorp.
LexCorp,
What's Ameritech?
Ameritech. I don't know. Why don't you look that up real quick?
Ameritech.
I feel like DC Comics Ameritech. Total market share in Gotham City. Gothcorp has 52% at this point.
What's Ameritech is 37%.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Donuts. Oh, dude. Do you ever look at food in video games and think, damn, that looks good? I
Oh,
do.
that's a thick donut, dude.
That's a Thickums donut.
Real thicky.
Thickums Magoo.
Yeah, dude. It's an American military industrial firm that formerly employed engineer John Henry Irons.
Oh, steel?
Yeah.
John Henry Irons steel? Mm-hmm. Oh!
Yeah, dude.
I never knew there was a...
Door.
Dude, that can go on our list.
That's a crazy thing, man. I
I've
have no
never seen
idea.
anyone say that Easter egg.
What a crazy thing, actually.
We just found a new Easter egg! Yes! Oh my god, chin boner!
Come on, dude. Show it off,
Chin
baby.
boner. But
Let's
when I see
it,
Vicky
Bruce.
Vale, it's gonna recede.
Yeah, that's a fact, dude.
Okay, so what did Alfred say? There's
I
like
didn't pay
a
attention at all.
passageway or
We
something?
were just discovering something new, so... Oh, we go down there.
Oh, right there.
Yeah.
Stage 1 fueling complete. Docking process initiated.
Cool.
Docking process. That's how.
I'm a big fan of that. I need to see real quick if our food's here yet.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
dude.
well.
Oh, you're dead.
Potential breaches in coolant
I think it's
outtake.
safe. We could just stop
It is
now.
here.
Let's just stop.
Yeah. If we want to, we can play this later.
True.
We'll see.
It's a good run, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Hour-long start? That's great.
it's actually really fun.
I know. I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm so pumped we found that Easter egg, too.
Dude, we just found a new Easter egg. I
I have
don't
not seen anyone talk about that one.